you doing here? Welcome back, and I'm having some trouble. I'm having some decision trouble. First, the fish want to say hi, and it's also a lot cleaner than it was before. Hey, look, should we feed them? Let's feed them. Filming on the ZV-1, awaiting the ZV-2. Should do it at high frame rate since I'm losing high frame rate. But I'm not. Oh, I should. I will. Got too many dang goldfish. Alright, welcome back to the channel, guys. Scott's Reviews. Like down, subscribe down below. ZV-1 Mark II. It's been pre-ordered, but I'm regretting it. I'm scared, nervous that it was a mistake. I think it's a mistake. I think a lot of people think it's a mistake. So let's mention a couple things. Right now I'm just filming an arm's length with the Bluetooth grip on it, and I have active steady shot on, so it's got this in my head. Now it's not the whole wide angle thing, but if I had a longer tripod, I could extend this out a little bit to help out. So it's ND filter is on, 1.8 aperture, and I used this camera over the weekend to do some video stuff with my girls and a little vacation we did for Memorial Day. And one of the shots I got was using the high frame rate, and they were playing the Jenga. I'll show you the clip here where it falls. But I was able to just sit there and hold the camera as they were building this block, knowing it was about to fall. And instead of having to record the whole thing in 120 frames per second and sit there and record it and wait for it to happen, I just sat there in high frame rate mode, and then when it fell, hit the button and then recorded the shot. So let's play the shot. Something simple like that is where that feature is really, really good. I'm going to miss that high frame rate feature. I enjoyed it on this camera. So you're about to order the ZV-1 Mark II. You're going to pre-order it, or you have pre-ordered it, and you're excited, but you've been watching more of these reviews and you're like, ooh, I am not sure about this camera. Well, that's how I feel. $900. I am not sure about this camera, man. I mean, for the things they're saying negative about, no 4K 60, the stabilized footage is not good. It's almost as bad as ZV-1F. That kind of thing. I'm like, what are we doing here? Again, what am I doing here? Why did I order it? Short and simple. If it was not for this YouTube channel that I'm trying to create, which please subscribe, then I probably wouldn't get this camera. Curiosity would have me get there, but it was not worth $900 in curiosity to get the camera. And then, so if you've watched my channel for a little while, you know I've had the ZV-1. I've had a bunch of RX cameras before that. I had the ZV-1F. I did a couple of reviews on that one. Bought it, sold it, bought it. And then when this possibility came out, I was like, ooh, I definitely have to get, this sounds like the best of both worlds. This sounds like the ZV-1F. Everything I loved about it and everything I loved about the ZV-1 mashed together to create the perfect camera, and they didn't do it that way. They took things out, and they didn't give us much back in return besides a higher price tag. So we get a wider angle lens, but that kind of is mitigated once you crop in with active steady shot. Kind of takes that away. When before you could use the standard, which was the lens stabilization on the ZV-1, to kind of get you just enough to get so it's not that jittery in the background if you're doing some slow walking, and you still get that whole wide angle look of the 24. Besides the screen on the back, USB-C, what is the real benefit of this camera being the latest and greatest? Is it better battery? No. Is it better sensor? No. I mean, if GoPro did something like this, they would get creamed online about how GoPro didn't improve the sensor, didn't do this, blah, blah, the same camera it was before. At least they give us a little bit more each time. They don't take stuff away. It seems like they keep taking stuff away and not giving us. My dog is barking. Am I going to keep the camera? Am I going to keep the pre-order? I think yes. I think because I want to do that again, the stabilization test of the ZV-1, ZV-1 Mark II together, and to see the difference in stabilization between the two. Is it that much difference? All that kind of stuff. I also want to check out that f4 lens versus the 2.8 when we extend out or we telephoto in on the Mark II. Once we're at 50, we get a ton of noise in the lower light. So I want to get the same environment at low light, zoom into 50 millimeters, get the f4 going and the 2.8 on the ZV-1, and really look at the difference of the image. Is it like, oh my God, kind of like thing, or is it just kind of like, oh, I see a little bit there and there, it's not that bad? That's the kind of test I wanted to create. So that's why I think I'm going to keep the pre-order, is just for testing in this YouTube channel. If you're in the market for your own personal use, hunt for a ZV-1 used. Try to find one as cheap as you possibly can. Check eBay, all that kind of stuff. I picked up the ZV-1 with the Bluetooth grip for like 400 bucks on eBay. A lot of folks on eBay get confused between the ZV-1 and the ZV-1F. You ever noticed that? And seen a couple of things where it says, it has a picture of the ZV-1, but they say it's a ZV-1F, and they have it priced as a ZV-1F. So it's priced better. Look for those deals, because some folks like get them in pawn shops and they're not sure what they have. Because they're not familiar with ZV-1, ZV-1F, all that kind of stuff. So I digress. I love hunting for deals. All right, let me know what you guys are going to do. If you got it pre-ordered, if you're going to cancel it, if you're about to order it right now, you're debating, that kind of thing. Another thought, I don't want to go this route, but another thought, does this camera, if it is as bad as it may be, does it bring life to the ZV-1F? Does it give it more like, you know what, for 400 bucks or whatever it is, it's not as bad as I thought it was. I can get past a couple of things for that price tag. I heard that you could fully use catalyst browse with the ZV-1F, so that can take away some of the jitters in the background. And I love the fixed lens on the ZV-1F, because you don't have to worry about zooming in, zooming out, right in the pocket, take it out, right back in the pocket. Easy cheesy. But you also have your cell phone. So that's another whole topic that I won't go into, that you can debate forever. And I'm sure these cameras are going to go away pretty soon. Is if they don't increase the power of these cameras, they're going to go away. If you can't increase the sensor size of this camera to compete with the cell phones today, Sony, then what are you doing? You're just hanging around till this thing dies and no one buys it. I just don't like using this. I don't know, you just don't feel as creative when you're just kind of like, get the shot, get it over with, put it back in your pocket. With a camera, I feel like you will get more creative and trying to get a different shot, a better blurred background, different subject composition, all that kind of stuff. But I am old and about to be put out to pasture, but all right, that's it. These things I talk about. Have a good one.